One of my most viral recipes is my whipped feta and roasted tomato dip recipe, and today I'm showing you how to make it. Let's go. All you have to do is add crumbled feta, water, olive oil, and cream cheese to a food processor. Then you're going to add in some lemon zest and honey, salt and pepper, and we're going to add it to a bowl. Then we're going to add our roasted tomatoes on top of the feta cheese dip, and there you have it. Full recipe on my Instagram, website, and YouTube. Check it out. Enjoy.
If your kids are picky like mine, this is the best meal to add to your dinner rotations. Thinly cut chicken breast, and I season it well on both sides. Heat up some olive oil and cook your chicken in a cast iron skillet. Cut up some broccoli while the chicken is cooking. I cook on each side for about 3 to 4 minutes, and then I cover it and let it sit with a cover so it gets nice and moist before I cut it up. Some more olive oil, and then I add my broccoli, fresh garlic, and season with garlic powder, salt, and pepper. I let my broccoli saute for a few minutes and get nice and browned. Then I add 1 cup of heavy cream, and my favorite pesto, which makes the whole meal, is this classic pesto. I add about 1 tablespoon. I like to cook it with veggie pasta, but you can use any kind of spaghetti you want. Then I add my chicken at the end and let it cook to get thick, and then add my cooked spaghetti. And this is such a delicious creamy pasta full of flavor.
Hold me fast, the magic spell you cast. This is La Vie en Rose. When you kiss me, heaven sighs, and though I close my eyes, I see La Vie en Rose.
Let's make these healthy crispy chicken tenders with the perfect crust using no oil. Cut your chicken into strips, season with salt, pepper, garlic powder, paprika, cayenne pepper. Mix it all up and put it to the side. Add your crushed cornflakes and use the same seasoning you just used. Mix that all up, then crack 2 eggs in a bowl and whisk. Line a baking tray, then simply dip the chicken in the egg wash, let it drip, put it in the crumbs, making sure they're all evenly coated. Then bake for 18 minutes at 200 degrees, flipping halfway, and you're ready to eat while they're hot.
My husband said he will never order the fake chicken made out of flour in a restaurant. So I had to prove him wrong. I know he loves fried chicken. So I'm making the fake KFC fried chicken made out of flour. Let's see. Because I love the challenge. Never challenge a woman with ambition? What if this actually end up tasting like fried chicken? I will make him stop eating meat. Pray for him. It's starting to look like my husband will order this in a restaurant. Oh my god, he's back from work. It's time to see what he thinks.
Have you tried fried rice like this before? This is golden egg fried rice, also known as gamwon tafan. You can add egg yolks to room temperature rice and mix well. The rice becomes more golden colored and has a richer taste. Prep the ingredients by chopping Chinese broccoli stems and Chinese sausage, lapchang in Cantonese. In high heat, add oil and your separated egg whites. Fry and set aside. Next, fry your Chinese sausage, or you can use your favorite protein and set aside. Add your mixed yolk rice and fry until the rice isn't stuck together. Next, add your Chinese broccoli and the sausage you sauteed earlier. Mix and fry for a couple minutes. Add some soy sauce and some sugar. Add back the egg whites and chopped green onions. Do a final stir and you're done. Try this rice if you haven't already.
Your tongue is all by your side. You got it took too long. You get it. You got it took too long. You get it. You got it took too long. You get it. You got it took too long. You get it. You got it took too long. You get it. You got it took too long. You get it.
When I was younger, my grandma said, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And can I just say, this woman has been married over 50 years, happily married. So of course I took her advice and I learned how to whip up a bomb-ass sandwich. You guys, Literally, my husband will choose this over any other meal that I can make him. And he's happy and we're happy, and we've been married going on 17 years.
Niggas, they ain't fucking with me. I'm sorry for dripping, but drip is what I do. And one of these days I'm gon' get dressed and drip all over you. I'm that fly young nigga, little baby, can't you see? Your style is old, my fashion code, tell me who drip like me. I'm the flyest in the room, but you already knew that. You lying with them fake ass clothes, so where the truth at? You say you big drip with the fit, but it don't match. I kill him with the drip. Mortal Kombat, big old sauce. I be dripping when I'm dressing. You trying with them weak ass fits, you need a lesson. I got too much sauce. Niggas thinking that I be chefing, but I study dripology. Nigga, classes in session. Don't slip when I drip in high fashion. I dripped on the scene, but I spilled by the gallon. They telling me I'm fly, so I think that I'm blasting off in a spaceship through the stratosphere. I'm sorry for dripping, but drip is what I do. And one of these days I'm gon' get dressed in.
Hey everyone, it's Ariana, and after staying up most of last night trying to catch up on my homework, I needed a recipe that was easy enough for me to make in my days, and thankfully this tomato feta pasta is all over my For You page. People are going crazy about it, so I'm gonna give you my very professional opinion on whether or not it's worth the hype. Start by seasoning 2 pints of cherry tomatoes with salt and pepper, and then add a nice drizzle of olive oil. Plop an 8-ounce block of feta cheese right in the middle, drizzle with more olive oil and salt and pepper, and then stick your whole pan or baking dish into the oven at 400 degrees for about 30 minutes. In the meantime, I minced 2 cloves of garlic and then picked about 1/4 cup of basil leaves off my plant and gave those a slice. Look at that. And then you're supposed to cook your pasta of choice in salted boiling water until it's al dente. After 30 minutes, the feta should be all melted and gooey and the tomato should be blistered. You're gonna want to break it all up and then give it a stir, and this is gonna form the sauce for the pasta. This combination of ingredients smelled so good, and then I added in the minced garlic and basil and then the pasta and gave it all a stir. I didn't know what to expect, but honestly this pasta was so amazing. You've got to give it a try. Full recipes on my Instagram.
Showing you how to make my favorite 10-minute spicy garlic noodle. Mince up 4 cloves of garlic, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of black vinegar, 1.5 tablespoons of homemade chili oil, 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds, 1 tablespoon of crushed red pepper, add in the minced garlic, cook up your favorite noodle, 5 tablespoons of oil, teaspoon of Szechuan peppercorn, heat up the oil, cut this chili oil, slice up some cucumber and the cooked noodles, mix together, add on sliced cucumber. Now look at that.
Let's make fries that are tastier and healthier than McDonald's. First up, we need to peel and cut the potatoes into fries. Add the fries to a pot with cold water and sea salt. Boil for 2 minutes and then drain. Bake with olive oil and your favorite herbs at 200 degrees for 25 minutes. Boom, there you have the perfect French fries.
You've asked for it. So here we go. I am reposting my most famous TikTok viral video, Better Than Olive Garden Fettuccine Alfredo. It starts with a stick of Kerrygold salted butter. Melt that down, then add 3 cloves of minced garlic, cook 2 minutes, then add 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream. Whisk for 8 minutes until thick, then add 1.5 cups of grated Parmesan and 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Whisk 2 more minutes until everything is nice and melted. Serve it up. It is the best sauce you will ever taste. I even put it on lasagna.
I'm going to share my mum's secrets on how to make the crispiest and best crumb chicken, so you're just going to have to trust us on this one. Crack 4 eggs into a shallow bowl and whisk together with water and crushed garlic cloves and leave to marinate. Cut the tenderloin off the chicken breast and then using a sharp knife, cut the chicken breast in half crosswise. Place that chicken breast in between 2 pieces of Glad wrap and then use the smooth side of a mallet to pound it out until it's an even size of thickness. For the breadcrumbs, we need some finely chopped parsley and rosemary and add it to a blender with that torn up stale bread. Blend until you have a chunky texture. Whisk together some flour and salt and begin crumbing your chicken by placing it into the flour, then placing it into the egg wash and then generously coating it in those chunky breadcrumbs. Add a generous amount of olive oil to a pan and fry that chicken until it's crispy and golden. Dip it into a dipping sauce of your choice and
you can make this simple cake with just 3 ingredients. Here's how. Start by blending 350 grams of your favorite store-bought cookie in a food processor. We chose graham crackers, but you can pretty much use any kind of cookie that you like. Add the finely crushed cookies to a large bowl, then sprinkle in baking powder through a sieve. This is what's going to make your cake rise so it's fluffy instead of hard and dense. Whisk together, then pour in warm milk. Now use a spatula to thoroughly mix everything together. Once it has the consistency of a cake batter, pour into a 7-inch square pan lined with parchment paper that overhangs slightly. Gently shake the pan to remove any air bubbles and even out the top, then pop in the oven at 340 Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. You can test if it's fully cooked by piercing the center with a skewer or toothpick. If it comes out clean, the cake is fully cooked. Remove from the pan and invert onto a clean cutting board or plate. Gently peel off the parchment paper and allow the cake to cool completely. Once it's cooled, top your cake with your favorite icing. Here we used a simple white chocolate ganache. Try this recipe at home and let us know which cookies you used and how it went.
We've been making videos and recipes with Trader Joe's stuff for about a year now, and this is by far our best recipe. It's our honey Aleppo puff pastry pull-apart. So we're going to start by mixing cream cheese, honey Aleppo, and Parmesan cheese in a bowl. Then add your shredded chicken and add as much sauce as you want. Then get your puff pastry sheet and add the chicken mixture into the middle, and then slice as you can see here. And then once you're done pulling out the corners, you fold the tops down over the chicken and then start braiding the little strips of puff pastry over the chicken mixture. Then once you're done with that, we're going to get melted butter, garlic, parsley, and then mix that up and then brush it on top of the chicken mixture. And then bake at 375 for 25 to 35 minutes or until brown. This really is amazing. If you try one thing from our page, this should be it.
These are absolutely insane. Let's make Parmesan garlic chicken tenders. Start off by seasoning down your chicken cubes and going with a bunch of buttermilk. Submerge them. You want to marinate them 4 to 24 hours or until you lose patience. Now go in with some flour and a little cornstarch. Now heavily season it with your favorite seasoning. Don't forget the salt so it's not bland. Now transfer half that mixture to another bowl. And now go in with a bunch of panko breadcrumbs. Now we have the marinated chicken, some of the dry batter, a seasoned egg wash. Now the dry batter with the panko breadcrumb. I'm telling y'all, these boys are about to be crispy. Now take your chicken, go into the dry batter, back into the egg wash, and now into the panko mixture. And now fry. To some melted butter, roast down a bunch of minced garlic. These are so crispy, it's crazy. Remember, you could do these with the whole chicken tender. For the sauce, use some mayo, thyme leaves, your roasted garlic, chili flakes, and a bunch of Parmesan cheese. And now go in with your tenders or nuggets. And now we have final product. Now, bismillah.
This Cajun chicken pasta is one of my favorite recipes to make. It's creamy, cheesy, and spicy, just the way I like it. Marinate the chicken with all the spices on the screen for at least half an hour. Shallow fry both sides until it's well done. Just look at that chicken. Now in the same pan, add in some crushed garlic and red chili. Saute them for a minute or two. Add in 1 chopped onion, let it cook together. To this, add in tomato paste and chili paste. Give it a good mix and add in 1 diced tomato and yellow bell pepper. Add in 1 cup cream and 1 cup pasta water with chicken stock cube. Once it starts simmering, add in rest of your spices. To this, add in dried parsley, chili flakes, and grated Parmesan. I also added a blend of mozzarella and cheddar to make it more cheesy. Add in some salt to taste, and finally you can add in your cooked pasta. Combine it well with the sauce. This is starting to look really good. Now you can plate it. It smells amazing and you won't be disappointed with this recipe. It's so flavorful. Top it off with the cooked chicken and enjoy.
I can swear, I can joke. I see what's on my mind. If I drink, if I smoke, I keep up with the guys. And you see me holding up my middle finger to the world. Your ribbons and your pearls. Cause I'm not just a pretty girl, I'm more than just a picture. I'm a daughter and a sister. Sometimes it's hard for me to show that I'm more
The other day, somebody left me a comment asking why my recipes are so unhealthy if I studied nutrition. The answer is pretty simple. Eating yummy food makes me happy. And honestly, seeing how 2020 has been going, I don't know how much time we have left. I'm really not trying to make this year any worse by eating rabbit food, and you shouldn't either, so come to Food TikTok and we'll cook all these delicious dishes together.
And every time it rains, panties from heaven. Shooby-dooby. Don't you know each cloud contains panties from heaven? Shooby-dooby. You'll find your fortune falling all over town. Be sure that your umbrella is upside down, and trade them for a package of sunshine and ravioli. Macaroni. If you want the things you love, you must have a pizza, holy baby. And when you hear thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be panties from heaven.
Hi, my name is Miriam and I'm addicted to carbs. Here we have some buffalo chicken calzones, some Korean cream cheese garlic bread. You guys don't understand how happy it made me. It came out so good. I made some milk bread just for Oikawa, twisted pretzels with homemade cheese sauce, as well as these heavenly fluffy butter rolls. They were so delicious. Starting to realize I make way too much bread. But we're not done yet. Here's some homemade pita bread, copycat onion, sour cream and onion pretzels, some perfect dinner rolls, copycat onion, cinnamon sugar pretzel bites, as well as some normal pretzel bites with cheese sauce. I made homemade Raising Cane's Texas toast, the perfect garlic knots. All of you guys went crazy over this recipe. I made the Texas Roadhouse rolls, but 10 times better. And of course, we can't forget about Olive Garden's breadsticks, some cream cheese and jam danishes, garlic butter naan, as well as the savory pull-apart bread. And that's not even all the bread recipes that I posted on my page, but there's definitely a lot more coming.
Okay, these potatoes are going to change your life, and if you don't believe me, just listen to this. They're crispy, garlicky, buttery, parmesan-y. I don't know what more you can ask for, so let's make them. After you peel and flatten each side of the potato, cut it into squares about ½ inch thick. Now we're going to use a chopstick to make cuts going along one direction without cutting all the way down. Then rotate it and repeat the same in the other direction. To make your garlic butter, just mix all these ingredients in a small bowl. Brush the top and bottom of the potatoes and bake at 400 Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. Take them out, brush with more butter, and bake for another 20 minutes. They'll be beautifully golden brown just like this. Garnish with more Parmesan and parsley and enjoy!
This is why you always say yes to Tandoori Chicken. In 2012, a high school tutor and her student stayed up so late one night studying that by the time they were done, the buses had stopped running. Without another way home, the student asked if he could stay the night at her place. Reluctantly, she agreed. When they got back to the apartment, she fell asleep on her bed and he fell asleep on a blanket next to her bed on the ground. A few hours later, she wakes up to the boy standing awkwardly in the middle of the room with a very strange look on his face. She asks him, "What's wrong?" He looks at her and says, "I'm really hungry. Let's go get some tandoori chicken." Confused, she says, "It's 2 a.m. Just get a snack in the cupboard." And he grabs her by the arm and he says, "No, we are getting tandoori chicken right now." And he yanks her from the bed. Feeling totally caught off guard by this whole situation, she goes into the hall with the boy, and as soon as the door shuts behind them, she can tell that he is terrified. He looks at her and just says, "I'm not actually..."
Honestly, if a dish has both butter and heavy cream in it, it can't go wrong, so let's make the creamiest butter chicken in under 30 minutes. First thing you're going to do is cube your chicken breast and marinate it in yogurt and all your spices for at least an hour. Then we cook it over high heat to get some beautiful browning on it. Cook down your tomato paste to remove some of the acidity, then add tomato sauce, heavy cream, and butter and whisk all together. Add your chicken back in, mix it, taste, and adjust to your liking. Top it off with cilantro and some more yogurt and enjoy!
I thought I'd show you guys how I make my crispy chicken burgers because they're pretty good. I start with the marinade, and I didn't have any buttermilk this time, so I just used some milk with a little bit of lemon. Here I'm using chicken breasts and I let them marinate for a few hours. For the flour mix, honestly just use as much spices as you can, it makes such a difference in the flavour. And then here I'm showing how I make my spicy mayo. It's super easy and it tastes amazing. When it comes to coating the chicken, I like to mix some of the wet mixture in the dry so that it gives it a really flaky crust. And of course, if you want it to be extra thick and crispy, you want to double dip or even triple dip. Leave it to rest for a few minutes, and that way the coat won't separate when you're frying, and then it should look something like this. And then you can go ahead and build the burger with anything you like, and that's basically it.
Hey everyone, it's Ariana, and this is some of the most mind-blowing chicken you'll ever eat. It's called takganjeon, and it's this sweet and crispy Korean fried chicken that's unlike anything I've ever had before. The chicken is perfectly crunchy on the outside and covered in an amazing spicy sweet sticky sauce. Start by covering 4 cubed chicken breasts with a cup of buttermilk, and then season with some salt, white pepper, and garlic powder. Give that a stir and then pop it into the fridge to marinate for an hour overnight. Then to your bowl, add 1.5 cups of flour, plus your baking powder, dried thyme, chili flakes, paprika, salt, and pepper. This is gonna be the crispy coating for the outside of our chicken, so add your chicken in there and stir it around, and then fry your chicken in hot oil for a couple minutes on each side till they're nice and golden. I fry the chicken in batches so it cooks evenly and doesn't overcrowd the pan. Finally, for our sauce, we're gonna simmer soy sauce, ginger, garlic, sesame oil, brown sugar, honey, and gochujang, which is this insanely delicious spicy Korean fermented chili paste, and then simmer for 5 minutes and coat the chicken. Then top with a sprinkle of toasted sesames, red pepper flakes, and sliced scallions. Let me know which dishes you'd like to see next. Check out the full recipe on my Instagram and follow for more food from around the world.
I've got another way to make pancakes. 2 eggs, crack into a bowl, separate yolks into another bowl. Right, so with these, a tablespoon of milk, whiskey business, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1/4 cup of cake flour, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Sift into your yolks, whiskey business, egg whites. Blend, till frothy, then 2.5 tablespoons of sugar gradually. Keep on putting that up till stiff peaks. Add this to this. Whites in and fold. Add the rest and fold together into a piping bag, non-stick pan, spray oil, heat medium low. Make 2 evenly sized pancakes with half your mixture. Teaspoon of water, lid. Steam for 5 minutes. Add the other half of your mixture. 3 more minutes. Flip, flip. 3 more minutes. Onto a plate. Whipped cream, some butter, powdered sugar, and of course, sheesh. That's a souffle pancake.
Ooh, what is this? Better than IHOP.
Oh my fucking god.
You can make this creamy mac and cheese in about 15 minutes and using only 3 ingredients. Start by adding 6 ounces of elbow macaroni to a pot, then pouring in just enough water to cover it. Turn the heat to high and bring up to a boil, stirring frequently. Once most of the water has been absorbed by the pasta and it's nearly completely cooked, pour in 6 ounces of evaporated milk, then bring back to a boil. Next, add your cheese, reduce the heat to low, and stir constantly until the cheese has melted and a smooth, creamy sauce has formed. You can now season with salt and pepper or any other seasonings you like and serve immediately.
Baby, work it.
When pizza and egg rolls collide, this is what you get. Paper down, pepperoni in, mozzarella cheese stick. Roll that thing nice and tight, you know what I'm saying? Give them a bubble bath, perfect golden brown. Brush with that garlic and herb butter and let that Parm and Romano reign. Plate it up, serve with your favorite marinara, and enjoy.
A lot of people think Jello Fries came from Ghana and Nigeria, but it was actually created by the Senegalese people who also call it cheb or benachin. And yes, Google recognizes this information. And Jello Fries actually comes in 2 forms, the white and red version that can be made with chicken and or beef or fish. And yes, vegetables do go in Jello Fries. Thank you, bye. So here's a tip. Next time when you make lamb chops, marinate your chops with some garlic, Worcestershire sauce with some salt and black pepper for about 4 hours. The next part is optional, but you can also add some rosemary for some flavor. And I paired mine with some mashed potatoes, and I promise you, you will thank me. Today I'm testing out my mini bunny waffle maker that I got from Dash, and since it is Easter, I want some vibrant flavors, so I made some lemon blueberry waffles and they came out so amazing. I topped it with some powdered sugar, and you definitely need to try it. Let's make some pineapple salsa. Let's make some cilantro lime chicken with pineapples. So here's the recipe to my lazy apple pot pie. Peel, core, and chop your favorite bacon apples and add the following ingredients. Cook over medium-high heat until apples are softened and mixture is thick. Thaw some puff pastry and then cut into circles or squares. I prefer the squares, and then brush with some egg wash. Sprinkle some raw sugar, bake, and then sprinkle with some powdered sugar. Enjoy.